You've always been able to find anything you need with a smartphone. Now you can use it to find a game of pool with the Solato app. Anywhere, anytime. You can even host a game, tournament, or lesson, and make money. See where you stack up against all the other players worldwide in the Solato ranking system. Use your ranking to qualify for invitationals, large payout tournaments, and events. The pool table is your arena, your stadium, your court. It's harder than people think, but you don't care. The only way to get to the next level is to play more. The more you play, the more you win. Solato is the world's premier pool community, uniting players everywhere. Connect with the community, find and host games, and keep your stats. Pool isn't just a game, it's a lifestyle. Join Solato today to find your game.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We got Shark Stream, Shark Talk Live, Season 3, Episode 3, and we got a great show for you guys today. We got two of our regular panelers. We got Brian Kicking Chicken over there. What's going on, Brian?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
All right, we got Clint Dixon, a pool enthusiast that joins us all the time. How you doing, Clint?
Good. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the special guest, one of the hardest working men in pool. This guy is, I don't even know what you are, promoter, tournament director. I mean, you do it all. But this is
above, right?
Yes, this is
Thank you, Bobby. Glad to be here, brother. Thank you.
Nice. This is Ship to Cash, Mike DeMarco. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing?
Doing fine on this Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, doing real good. Thanks.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get things rolling. Let's first talk about, and it's such a great opportunity for us to have Mike DeMarco here because we have talked about it already, but let's talk about it again because he ran this event. What a great event it was over there in Rhode Island there, the Ocean State. And, of course, Lucas Picasso, Werner, and Jonas came in first and second. But, Mike, what do you think of that event, and how did it go from the inside out?
Well, I'll tell you, every time that we invite Mike Zuglin here, he always does a great job. And this was a very special one. Obviously, the Ocean State's got a lot of history as far as, as far as who competes in it. I needed a few minutes. As far as who competes in the event and who has won it historically. But this was a special one just because we had a full 128 player field, and that's special in pool for any event. So we were really happy to see that. And of course, your young gun, Lucas Picasso Werner, taking it down. We're all real proud of Lucas. A lot of folks were behind him. But yeah, it was a great event. We're really happy the way it turned out.
Nice.
Can I mention one thing about that tournament and the hot seat match?
Of course, that's what you guys are on for. Let's make it happen. Let's talk about it.
For me, that was such a big part of the entire weekend. The hot seat match between Lucas and Jared. As you know, it went down. Jared came back out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's hill, and you could see the pressure mounting. And if anybody doesn't think this event means much to these guys, you have to see how they were trading the safeties. I didn't count them, but I'm going to guess there might have been 10 total safeties, maybe 5 each from the guys. And finally, Lucas had just a sliver of daylight, and he was able to see the 8-ball shot. And what he decided to do, if you guys remember on the 8-ball shot, he had a choice whether he could go into it with some pace and go back and forth the long way up and down the table to have position on the 9-ball. He chose to slow roll it. And if you watched that shot, the 8-ball went deep into the shelf, and it sat there. It seemed like it forever, but it was maybe a second or a half a second that it sat there. And Lucas watching that ball in disbelief, and then finally it rolled in, went into the pocket, and his head just dropped down, and it was total pressure. And then he was able to just knock the 9-ball in for the win. And then, of course, he went on to face Jonas in the final, which went fairly quick as compared to that semi. or the hot seat. But that was a great match to watch. Kept us riveted.
Yeah, that match between Jared Demalia and Lucas Picasso Berna, the hot seat match at the Ocean State, that was what a lot of folks are considering like the best match we've seen in recent times, especially in that type of situation. I mean, that last rack was unbelievable, and that match was definitely the match of the tournament. And anyone that watched the broadcast, I mean, they'll tell you the same thing. That was the match of the tournament.
It was epic.
That was unbelievable.
Nice. And
epic match for sure.
I want to take a quick minute and give a shout out to Jared Demalia. He played his butt off that tournament. I mean, you can tell he wanted to win it, and he didn't give up. He was down big to Lucas, right? And he came back to Hill. Give a shout out to him. Really, really good shoe and excellent job.
And just to mention some, Bobby, this is actually Jared's third place finish in the Ocean State.
Wow, that's good and bad. If you're a pool player,
it was in the 20 Ocean State. He came in third as well.
Right, but he did win the what is called the Bud Classic, right? He won that. Is that correct?
Snooker's Amateur 9-Ball Classic. He did win that in the past, and it was something that we, like myself definitely, but a lot of folks were kind of hoping that Jared was able to win. He would have been the first player in history to have the red check for the Snooker's Amateur, and also for the Ocean State, the banner, the green banner. No one has both.
Wow, that would have been awesome.
There's a lot of great players that have one or the other, but those red checks are kind of like the precursor to becoming someone that's in the running for one of those green banners, the Ocean State banners, and that would have been the first time in history that somebody had both of them.
Right. He was knocking on the door pretty good.
He really was.
Yeah,
he played well.
I think he'll get there. I think he'll get there for sure.
Yeah, right. And, well, at least you can always go forward. You can never go back, and once you're over that 700 mark, you can't go back and get that other banner. So he definitely has an opportunity to keep going forward. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
And how about Bobby? How about your new friend, Mr. Jonas Sudo from Spain? How's he doing out there?
Man, that kid is a phenomenal, and that's one of the things I want to talk about with you guys too as well. I mean, he wins. He leaves your event at what time? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10.
I mean, he was here pretty late on Sunday.
Yeah,
and he literally changed on the patio and said, "All right, guys, I'm off to Puerto Rico. I gotta go." He's like, no loss of energy. It was kind of insane just to see the energy just glowing from him. He's like, "Okay, we got this one down. Now I'm off to Puerto Rico, go play with some other professionals. Let's go." He was ready to go.
He's a true professional. He really is. I think actually him hanging out with Lucas for that 2.5, 3 weeks was a big deal. And part of the reason why Lucas actually was able to come through and finally get the big victory. I think do you guys agree with this? That was Lucas's biggest victory by far so far for his career.
I agree, and I actually wanted to go back to that hot seat match. After the safety battle, didn't Lucas get on his run with a bank shot? If I remember right.
A great bank 5-ball. Yes, absolutely. Great shot on the 5-ball. Yeah, it was amazing. And then he got out, and again that 8-ball. And I watched that video like 4 or 5 times. That 8-ball was really close. And what was the rule as far as Zuglin? Do you know if he walks away from the table, is there a certain amount of time? Because the 8-ball hung there for a few seconds.
It was usually 3 full seconds, and I think the players would have been able to decide that. But it's usually 3 full seconds if the ball hangs and then it fell, it would be replaced in the same spot.
Yeah, I don't think it was anywhere near 3 seconds.
I don't think so either.
It was, but for Lucas, it was like an eternity watching Wake.
For me too.
Yeah.
and I honestly, I love to see how he reacted when it did go in. That his head just fell straight down, and it was pressure coming off of him. And that's what I was saying. If anybody doesn't think these matches matter to these guys, that was total release of the pressure when he saw the 8-ball cooperate finally.
And he was able to bear down and make the 9, which was, I mean, you never know. You can't take it for granted. It wasn't in duck, but it wasn't hard, but it was still very missable.
Sure.
Yeah, I do think that the general consensus will tell you that he should have played the shot with the pace like we talked about earlier, just pocket it, go up and down. I think that was the proper shot. But, in the heat of the moment, that's what he felt. That's what you're supposed to shoot. That's what he felt most comfortable with, and it worked out for him. But I think over time, he's going to want to make that shot in the other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So again, kudos to you, Mike DeMarco. Great job. Of course,
Yeah.
the Joss event and
Thank
everybody involved in there. Nice job. And Lucas, Jonas, and Jared, 1, 2, 3. But let's talk a little bit about my guy Jonas. I mean, like you said, he goes down to Puerto Rico and plays in the 10 ball, and he comes in 5th through 8th in the pro event. How about that for a 20-year-old kid? You know, the kid played fantastic. He beat Naoki Oi, beat Earl Strickland. Pretty good players, right?
It's another example of knocking on the door. I mean, he's making himself noticed. You know, everybody's paying attention, and a lot of the seasoned veteran pros, you know, they're drawing this kid, and they're thinking, this doesn't have to be a pleasure to play this kid. He's really starting to figure things out, and he's only going to get better from here.
And he's definitely getting feathers in his cap. He's placing higher. And Bobby, you probably remember when I asked him about his goals. I thought that was a pretty interesting answer, you know, from a guy his age, right?
Yeah, he's definitely. I think he's above his age and as far as knowledge and just maturity. He answers all the questions well. And it's funny because him and Lucas have a little like thing like who's the older brother? Lucas is older, but Jonas plays in more events, so they kind of go back and forth. Jonas is giving him advice, but Lucas doesn't want to take it because he feels he's the older one. And it was pretty interesting to see.
I think those two boys are very good for each other. It was nice with them hanging out with each other and going off to a few tournaments together. It was very very good.
Yeah, definitely. Very nice. And again, got to give a shout out to the winner of that event. Let's talk about this gentleman a little bit. Carlo Beato. Have you guys ever heard of him? Heard of that guy?
Oh,
Carlo
yeah,
Beato.
before.
Yeah, Carlo Beato is a powerhouse. You know, he's becoming the go-to guy from the Philippines, and you know, any of these guys from the PI, they're looking up to him now as he's kind of stepping into the role that Efren and even Dennis isn't coming to the United States for a little while, so he's stepping into that role, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think he's actually heading back home now, from what I saw. Um, One thing that stood out to me about his play in that tournament is I only saw him miss one spot shot the entire tournament, and that was against Jesus Atencio. And if you guys haven't seen that match, watch it. It's incredible. It's one of the best matches I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and Atencio is another one. You know, watch out. You know, this kid's playing tremendously.
Oh, he's on the upslope for sure. His game is real long way in a short period of time.
What do you think, Mike, about Beato? What do you think? Is he one of your favorite players? Or you just
Carlo Beato is a world champion player, and I mean he's always a contender in every event. And I mean he's a household name. If you don't think he is, then you got your facts incorrect. But Carlo Beato is definitely a top world class player, top 10 in the world in my opinion, and that's not going to change for some time.
When he won the U.S. Open, the emotion that came out of him, and it reminded me of Lucas with the 8 ball shot that he dropped his head with relief. I don't know if you guys remember it, but the interview after he won the U.S. Open, he was actually crying. I mean, the guy was crying. It meant that much to him.
He was in tears for sure.
He truly was, and you know, I look at that kind of stuff, and it matters to me to see that these guys are not just, you know, in it for the victory, but it's a very emotional thing. I mean, they are working their tails off to get to the point that they're able to win big events. You know, so it's nice to get that validation.
for sure?
And he just strikes me as another one of these, you know, extraordinarily likable guys, you know, at the table and away from the table as well.
It does. It seem like it. It seemed like it. And I think there's going to be a lot more of him to come for sure. In the next few events, he's just playing such a good level. But congratulations to Carlo. Obviously, want to change gears a little bit here. I want to know if you guys, and you guys can see this here real quick. Um, This young lady, have you guys ever heard of the Roadrunner? You guys heard about the Roadrunner at all?
The Van
Yeah.
East,
Sure.
She's something else, right?
She's swinging that stick pretty good.
Yeah, I
She
wanted.
almost found Kelly Fisher at that tournament.
Say that again, Clint.
He almost took down Kelly Fisher.
Oh,
She had a good chance at it.
yeah.
She really did. But Joe Raccio, my IT guy, obviously, and I, we try to follow everything in the world of pool, and that's why we're following that guy right there on the screen, Mike Demarco. This guy's doing big things, and if you don't know it, pay attention. He was out there at Sandcastle doing the pro event as well. But he's doing everything. But this girl, there's something special about her. I'm gonna show a quick video for you guys. I'm sure I don't know if you guys saw it or not yet, but check out this video from this girl. And again, remember, she's 12 years old.
I just finished 9 through 16 in the Predator Pro Billiard Puerto Rico Open, or Women's Open. And
Oh, I lost it. I just lost it there. Sorry about that, guys. Let me play it again.
I don't know if it came over the air, but I didn't see it.
hello, everybody. I just finished 9 through 16 in the Predator Pro Billiard Puerto Rico Open, or Women's Open. And I want to thank all my sponsors and all of you for supporting me throughout this whole journey. And I want to thank Predator for putting on the event. It was absolutely beautiful. So thank you. And bye.
Were you guys able to hear that or no?
Yeah, how could you not?
yeah, she's awesome.
And yeah,
She's awesome. She's wonderful.
I think it's just great for the game. She's really bringing attention to obviously female pool. She's 12 years old. She came in the top. What did she say? Top 16, 8 to 16 in a professional event, and just handles herself almost like a little professional. It's unbelievable, and it's good to see. Good to see.
Oh yeah, and if you can come close to beating anybody named Fisher in our sport, you're doing a good job.
That's right. That's correct.
So
yeah, I think Savannah's definitely doing everything that a professional should be doing, and I think a lot of the older professionals could actually learn some of the things that she's from what she's doing. She markets herself, and she's got her name, she's got her beep beep thing, and she's going around and traveling, playing all the events, and updating her fans and the pool enthusiasts of what she's doing. And that's kind of what we need, whether you're an amateur or a professional. That's the kind of stuff that promotes pool and gets us to that higher level, and gets more participation and more people interested in pool, especially when it's coming from this little 12-year-old girl cracking people. You know what I mean? She's traveling the world and she's just beating up on people. Earlier this year, she had the 640 and under at Griff's. She won that event.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big win right there, considering the caliber player. Again, 12 years old. I mean, in the next 5 years, I would love to see her get to that tip top caliber player and really shine. But I think everybody